y'all? It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you are watching God, Sex, and Love. And friends, I got a good one for you today. Now, ladies, I don't know. I'm going to talk to the ladies real quick, okay? Ladies, now, I don't know about you, but have you ever just wanted to be a fly on the wall in the man cave or at the barber shop or something like that, right? Well, in this segment, friends, we're going to do just that because we are going to get the male perspective. I have three wonderful men of God that are joining me for a conversation about the attack on manhood that is happening right now. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you're just interested in this conversation, then stay tuned.
It's a miracle, baby.
Yeah.
Miracle, 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 miracle,
all-male panel. You all have seen all these gentlemen before, but I'll just go ahead and reintroduce them. Let's start we'll look the order of arrival today. Let's start with that. So first was Mr. Roderick English. He is back for a conversation. Thank you so much for joining me in. We got Ranye Hawkins back as well.
Peace and blessing, y'all. What's really good?
And last but not least, I don't know why you laughing. I don't know. Last but not least, again, we got Neil Newman.
Greetings.
Back to have this important discussion. So, fellas, let's get it going. I want to know, do you as men, and even as Christian men, I'm assuming that all y'all, just kidding. But I want to know, like, how do you all feel about the dynamic when it comes to manhood these days? Like, do you feel as if there's some type of attack on manhood right now?
Yeah, I do. I feel right now with the media, it's being watered down, it's being pushed to more feminized men. And when you're watching TV shows, they take the strong man out of the family household, and it's like they're killing off the manly dynamic. And then even with sports, everything's watered down, and then it's more of a everything's sensitive. Everything's very sensitive. And it's telling you can't be, you gotta be soft, you gotta be weak. And when you take away the strong man attributes that make up a man, you don't have that warrior that we're called to be. We're called to be servants. We're called to be protectors. And all those things that God put in us, which are natural, they're not bad. They got to be put in place. They're even though it's evil. So I believe in society now, they're killing off the manly urges that God put in us.
What y'all got to say about that, men folk? So let me go to Neil. Neil, what you got to say?
Go ahead, Neil.
Why you going, Ryan? He had his chops licked. He was about to say something.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. You was about to say something.
Oh.
Yeah, I was. But, you called Neil out first, so I was like, let the brother speak.
Well, I just called him out because in the last episode, he was very, very quiet. And I was like, are you there, Neil? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. I'll go ahead. I do agree. I think the man is being watered down. I think it's kind of, it's a lot. It's just so much. But I think that's just the society that we live in, though. Especially like here in America. I can't speak wholly for anywhere else because I don't live there. But I know in America, it's kind of like a slippery slope. It's like, yeah, you got some men that are just like, dang, that's bad. And then you got, people, the media trying to portray men that, they should be like this. They should be. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I agree with Rod, though. I'll say that.
I'm sorry. That the floor is yours, Mr. Brown. Yeah, I apologize for cutting you off earlier.
It's all love, sis. We good. It's all good. I do agree also with what Rod said. I'm going to take it a little bit further. I believe that the nucleus family, many people don't realize that it's actually a very divine family. It was orchestrated by the creator of all life first and foremost. And anything that God does, he puts it in divine order. Anytime you take something that's out of divine order, then you got chaos, you got wreckage, you got hell, you got all kind of different things that are happening. There's an imbalance in the earth. There's an imbalance in the family dynamic. There's an imbalance in the community. There's an imbalance in our society. And many people don't want to call it what it is. And also, you know, within the last, I'll probably say about 400 years, there always has been an attack on men, period. Now it's more latent, it's more upfront, and it's more, for a better lack of term, demonic as well. And when you get to the place where you are paying full attention to where men are today and how they were decades ago, we can even go back to 2 or 3 decades ago. You know, there was something about the responsibility of men, what they were called to do, what their positions were in the family, in the household, outside of the household, when it comes to work, when it comes to providing, protecting, and to lead. You know, now it's more of the men want to take the back seat. And even I've seen this as well too, because of the, you know, the field that I'm in as well, dealing with arts and entertainment. You know, now they're trying to basically deframe and rearrange the frame of the man. You know, now you got men running around with, you know, skirts on or dresses on or lipstick and, you know, all kind of other crazy stuff happening as well too. I'm not saying that men don't have a legal right to emotion. We do. You know, it depends on the certain situation that all men deal with, you know what I'm saying? Because every man deals with something different. However, when we're talking about it on a grand scale, there have always been an attack on men. I mean, now you have things such as from the school to prison pipeline. Now you have record industry executives that are connected to the penitentiary system, where the majority of the men are what? Black and brown, Hispanic, African American, and we can even go further back to Native American Indians as well too, you know, 500 years. So there's always been this issue of the men being attacked. And quite honestly, I believe it is a governmental systematic oppression issue that goes along with it. So they're trying to attack it very hard, and they're just going no holds barred on the situation. So it takes the men to know who they are first and foremost in God and the relationship between creation and creator. And then also going past that, once the men know their responsibility and what they're called to do, like the women know, well, most of them, majority of them know what their responsibilities are and what they're called to do, then the unison and the unification within the dynamic will become more stronger.
I feel like there's, oh, sorry.
I want to piggyback off what he was saying. The problem with a lot of the men these days is they don't have examples. Like a woman from birth, y'all automatically know what your purpose is in life. Like, y'all are born to bring life into this world. Like, nobody really has to tell a woman what to be a woman. Y'all know, like, y'all come out the womb and y'all going. But it takes a man to show a young boy how to be a man. And a lot of people, you know, a lot of young boys, they don't have father figures. So you have single moms trying to raise a young man. And I know a lot of single moms, they do great jobs, but you can still see the void. Like, luckily, I thank God for my dad. Like, my dad was a dad. He's a dad, and he looks like a dad. And I look like a dad. Like, I don't look like a young dad. I look like a dad. It's a look that a dad has. It's a certain poise that a dad has. And those things are, especially in our community. And it's like, we don't see those things. And so when we don't see them, it's hard to imitate or duplicate something you don't see. And it's really depends like off that family dynamic, especially the black community. I mean, it's not talked about a lot, but I took my daughter to a daddy-daughter dance, and it was a beautiful thing. 'Cause I saw nothing but fathers and their daughters. And a man came up, he said, "Ain't this beautiful?" I said, "It is." He said, "Well, you won't see this on TV." Them two of us walk around with our pants down, doing some gangster stuff, some thug stuff, selling some drugs, but they don't show us as the center of the family, as the head of the family. It's also on the church level too. Like spiritually, a lot of times they beat down men, so men don't go to the church. But when you see a father that's in church, you see the family in church, and you see the change in the family. Respect spirit, every level.
I agree. Actually, that's pretty much what I was going to bring up as well. This not say it's a call for. I mean, I guess that's my way to explain it. Then a call for, no fathers in the home. I don't understand that fathers are so needed, and he just gave an awesome example of, why. But for both daughters and sons, the fathers are needed in the homes, and but we just like you guys just said, in our community, we don't really see a lot of fathers in homes, for whatever reasons, and I see a shift in that dynamic in regards to, like, when I scroll on social media and things like that. I mean, maybe it's just my timelines and stuff, but I mean, I'm seeing a lot of, married couples, and I see a lot of, families and stuff like that. But what you just said has also hit home, because I was like, wow, have I seen a daddy-daughter dance on the TV? And if not, then, I mean, I guess, that's something that I need to work on in regards to, when I create or things like that. But I think it's just very, men are needed, and so I don't understand why, other than the spiritual attack, but on the surface level, I don't understand, like, why there's this it just seems like even the feminine movement and everything like that is just this attack on men, or
Can I say something?
Because your love has set me free. I'm alive, yeah. Because your love made me believe in me. There's no time to get my nails done. Oh, I know. I went to unwindselfcare.com and got my 100% nail polish strips. Thanks, Unwind Self-Care. Because your love has set me free. I'm alive, yeah. Because your love made me believe in me.
Can I say something?
yeah.
I feel like it's like we know there's an attack. Like, to me, it's just clear as day. But I feel like I always like to look at stuff. Like for instance, it was like a study. I don't know if it was by Focus or the Family or not, but it was like a study that said, like, all of society's ills can be traced back to the father. Like, whether you have a good father that's like there, and that father like conveys identity on you. And it goes with male and female. Like, a father helps a girl, like, know who she is, and it definitely helps a young boy know who he is. But it said, like, because of if there's a lack of father in the house, it's gonna explain all the problems in society. But in my opinion, and specifically just because I'm black, like, I can't speak for nobody else. Like, my father was around, and me and my dad, we got a good relationship. But I think nowadays, like, men don't take responsibility. Like how Rod was saying, like, yo, we don't see that on TV, and whose fault is that? Like, what we see on TV is what we portray. So, we haven't seen, like, a lot of good father stuff. I remember, like, growing up back in the day in the 90s and stuff like that. Like, you had so many good, like, television shows that showed like black men, even if they weren't a father. Like I remember like in the house with LL Cool J. I don't think he was anybody's dad, but he was that male figure in the house taking care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like with the Cosby Show. But now it's like when you see black people portrayed, it's like a lot of black people aren't the producers and some are, but we do have the love in hip hop. We do got the ratchet TV that everybody's so addicted to. So I think like because we don't take responsibility, like I remember somebody told me, they say like, yo, I didn't have a father growing up, so what I saw on TV, that was my dad. Like that's what raised me. So it's a you know, it's just multiple layers to it. So if you aren't monitoring what your child is watching, that's your responsibility. If you as a child or a teenager and you grow up as a man, and if you're watching that, that's still your responsibility because you're giving it ratings and you're making it popular. And if you have resources and you don't produce anything and you let everybody else dictate what you have and how they show you, it's like, okay, shame on you too. And if you're an actor or an actress and you know what, you're going to portray that role. Oh, that role is real, like blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of real roles out there. Why you going to take that one? Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't take everything everybody give you. Because I feel like as a black community here in America, we all have responsibility, and it's just on every single level, from the music to the media to everything. And if everybody actually like took responsibility and said like, hey, look, I want to see more of this, or we boycotting that, I think then we'll see a change. Because if you're gonna leave it up to the media, they're gonna portray you as being this whole thing of toxic masculinity. Like, what is that? Where did it come from? It's not even real. Like, to me, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Masculinity is masculinity. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can use it and do whatever you want with it. The same thing with femininity. But it's not toxic. Somebody can say the feminist movement is a toxic femininity because it's all about women's right or women this, that, and the third. And it's like you say, it's not about the whole family as a whole. Like, men need women, women need men, and that's how all of life and society is reproduced. So I think it's more like a responsibility thing. Like, yo, we as a community, we ain't taking responsibility like everything.
I agree. I want to piggyback off of what Neil just said as well too. Keep this in mind, that anytime manhood is being attacked, they're being attacked because man must understand that he is the foundation within the family. So if the manhood is the foundation within the family, keeping in mind, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. My father was always a construction worker. He was a cement finisher. He was a guy that did all the floors for supermarkets, theaters, things like that. So anytime the floor is being cemented and being worked on, it has to take a certain amount of days to let it dry and to let everything come together. Then the surveyor would come in and he would look things over and he'll say, okay, it's a go. We're going to go ahead and add things on so we can continue to build. Now, if they find cracks within the cement, that means that things are going to be delayed now. So we got to take a moment or two to, patch some things up. What I'm saying is this, that anytime you find cracks within manhood, cracks within the foundation, you're going to have a problem. And what Neil said is that the toxicity within masculinity and femininity comes from the imbalance within the family structure. And that's why things are poisoned the way that they are within the family dynamic. And that's why it continues to just keep spreading out the way that it is. And then also to add on is that you have the lack of respect for the elders that came before us. And a lot of the youth today, and even some of them in the generations that are ahead of us, they tend to forget that if you don't listen to the elders who have, as we say, been around the block a couple of times, you're going to miss out on a lot of lessons and a lot of sound wisdom from them. Because the scripture tells us that if you forget the old landmark, you have no sense of direction. How you going to make a blueprint or add a blueprint if you don't study the blueprint that came before us? So you got to make sure that what you're paying attention to Pay attention to the elders that did it before you, and just tune in and listen to what they have to say, and to allow them to teach you on the very area that you're trying to work on or develop or cultivate and get better in those areas. Because like Rob said earlier, you got to have those examples as a man teaching another man how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's different examples, but what example are you sharing with a man child or a young man that's coming into not just adolescence, but going into a young adulthood? That's very, very important. Anything from 12 years old all the way through, adulthood, 18, 19, 20, so on and so forth. Those are some very pivotal moments and very crucial moments in a young man's life, where now that development starts to come into play. Now those things are becoming cemented in his psyche and in his spirit and in his emotion, to know that, yeah, son, it's okay to cry. It's okay to express yourself. It's okay to do X, Y, and Z. That doesn't make you, a punk. That don't make you soft. That don't make you anything like that. You still a man. You have every God-given legal right to express yourself and feel a certain way.
I mean, honestly, gentlemen, I think, we've addressed a lot. I know this subject is really heavy, so I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more that can be said about this. So obviously, we need to keep having conversations about it. Hopefully, this whole thing encourages other people to get out there and have conversations about this stuff too, because, I get it. I'm a woman, I appreciate having my rights and everything like that. And at the same time, I don't think that diminishes who a man is, and I don't have to diminish who a man is, to, at least not in our house. Yeah, I don't know how everybody else operates or whatever, but I mean, I respect my husband in the position he's in, and he respects me in the position I'm in, and it's like, I don't understand why it has to be so, we need to bring the men down in order for the women to be lifted up. I don't get that. But friends, I know we probably have to wrap the conversation up. But I guess, if you gentlemen have like a final thought that you all would like to say to the people in regards to this, what would it be?
Well, I just say let a man be a man. Period. Like I don't think a woman can tell a man how to be a man, or dictate what a man should be or should do. That's like to me, the man is the lead, he's the head. Period.
Yep.
Period. That's all I got.
I believe we just need to get back to the order and the order thing, saying especially in my household, yeah, I'm the head of the house, but I don't look down at my wife. I look at my wife, and my wife looks at me, and our kids imitate the things that we do. His example and doing better. Each generation should strive to be better. So you should want to do better. If you didn't have a good father, you should strive to be a good father. If you didn't have a good mother as a woman, you should strive to be a good mother. If you thought she wasn't loving, you should be loving. If you saw as if your father was distant, you don't be distant. You have to do better. Each generation should strive to be better. I tell my kids every day, I want you to be better than me. And I want you to achieve things, far beyond that I can ever think about. So I think as a father, the thing I should say is, be the foundation, like you're saying. Your children should stand up on your back, and you should be the force to walk them to their destiny.
Absolutely, I agree, Rod. Absolutely. I would say my final thoughts are: we need to learn how to be patient with one another. We need to learn how to love a little bit more, have more compassion on one another, and learn how to uplift one another, encourage one another, build one another up, and stop the tearing down, because we all need each other. The man needs the woman, and the woman needs the man. Again, that's the perfect balance. That is the divine balance from the very beginning. Not allow society or government officials or a system tell you how it's supposed to be done, because the blueprint was already made before we even got here to this planet. We already have something that's laid a foundation, and we need to make sure that we go back to the very beginning the way they did it. And again, also keeping in mind that if we learn how to, again, to reiterate, let's learn how to be patient with one another, have some mercy and compassion with one another, forgive. People come with different scars. People come with different traumatic issues. Learn how to love through those flaws. Learn how to love through that individual as they're going through healing themselves. We all have the power of choice. And as I said, we have the power of choice to fix the situation. And whoever didn't do it for you while you were growing up, that should be your goal. That should be your aim. You should strive towards that.
I want to thank you all so much for letting little old me get a peek into your mind and this conversation of the male perspective. I thank you all, each of you, so much for what you guys have contributed to this conversation. And I look forward to talking to you all and having many, many more conversations in the future. If you all are willing to come on back.
Because your love has set me free. I'm alive, yeah. Because your love made me believe in me.
There's no time to get my nails done. Oh, I know. I went to unwindselfcare.com and got my 100% nail polish strips. Thanks, Unwind Self-Care.
Unfortunately, we had to just let you guys go right when it's getting good, but don't worry, you guys can check out the rest of the conversation on godsexandlove.com.